and welcome to National Focus. I am Aliyah Martin. In the headlines, new tax exemptions announced in 2021-2022 budget address, consideration to be given to making vaccination mandatory, says President Savre, and government has amended some of the COVID-19 measures put in place to safeguard the people of Dominica. Details of the headline stories and more when we return.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you're going out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand. That's what I think. We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. Government has amended some of the COVID-19 measures put in place to safeguard the people of Dominica. Octavia Prosper has more in this report.
The measures were announced by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit on August 3, 2021. This comes at a time when Dominica is dealing with a growing cluster of COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Skerrit says the current cluster appears to be associated with an individual or individuals who entered Dominica illegally and took part in a biker's activity along with a jam at a location in Pottersville known as The Lot on Sunday, July 25, 2021.
To date, there are 10 confirmed cases associated with this event, plus 2 imported cases, bringing the total number of active cases in Dominica to 12. Meanwhile, 14 of the individuals who received rapid antigen tests at the Roseau Health Center yesterday tested positive. We are currently awaiting the results of the PCR tests to confirm the status of these individuals. All confirmed cases and those whose rapid antigen tests were positive have been placed in isolation or quarantine in a government facility.
The current cluster of COVID-19 cases in Dominica is said to be different from previous clusters. Prime Minister Skerrit says the number of people who have tested positive and their contacts are presenting with flu-like symptoms, which makes the virus more contagious. A curfew order became effective as of Tuesday, August 3, 2021, for the next 7 days from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily.
However, in the case of the weekend, the curfew will begin at 5 p.m. on Saturday, August 7, 2021, and will continue throughout the day on Sunday, August 8, 2021, and end on Monday, August 9, 2021 at 5 a.m. Curfew will then resume the night of Monday, August 9, 2021 at 6 p.m.
All non-essential businesses are to remain closed. Essential workers, including people working at the ports, healthcare workers, banks and credit unions, hardware stores, telecoms and broadcasting, pharmacies, farmers, security services, utilities.
These measures will also include workers and people who are traveling in and out of the country, seeking medical care, shopping for necessities, banking, but by appointment only, caring for a family member, pet or livestock, involved in construction, farming, and manufacturing, all of whom will be allowed to continue their activities. 5, the hours of operation for businesses that are allowed to open are from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. 6, all businesses must ensure physical distancing measures of 6 feet apart are maintained and should control the number of customers inside of the premises to ensure no more than 4 customers per eye.
Prime Minister Skerrit emphasizes on the importance of adhering to the new COVID-19 measures.
All bars and nightclubs will remain closed. 8, restaurants, there will be no dining in, takeouts only. 9, no consumption of alcohol in the public. 10, churches and other places of worship are to remain closed. 11, weddings are to be limited to 5 individuals, while funerals are to be no more than 10 individuals. 12, the following will not be permitted: private parties, recreational or sporting events, social events, meetings of fraternal societies or of clubs, group tours, loud music. 13, public transportation will be restricted to 3 individuals per row. 14, there will be no visitation to the hospital, prison, infirmary, or quarantine facility, or any home providing care to the elderly and children. 15, the airports and seaports will remain open. 16, remember that masks are mandatory by law, and the police will be authorized to give you a ticket if you are seen not wearing a mask in the public. 17, the penalty for people who fail to comply with this order has been increased to $5,000.
Citizens are reminded to remain vigilant and continue adhering to the COVID-19 protocols. Persons who have been contacts of the individuals who have attended any of the events are advised to get tested. Anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms should call the hotline at 448-2151, 448-2153, 448-2156, 611-4325, or 1-800-219 so they could get tested.
Thanks, Octavia, for that report. Prime Minister of Dominica and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has announced new reduction in duties and taxes as government continues to work to improve the standards of living for citizens. Prime Minister Skerrit announced these reductions during his 2021-2022 budget address on Wednesday, July 28, 2021, under the theme, Building on Our Past, Solidifying Our Present, and Securing Our Future. Prime Minister Skerrit stated that as of August 1, 2021, an exemption of VAT on hatching eggs will come into effect, as one of the major challenges faced by poultry farmers is the sourcing of chicks.
The poultry farmers of Dominica have been working very hard to ensure that Dominica can sustain itself with the supply of eggs and chicken. One of the many challenges is the ability to source chicks. They have had to procure and transport chicks from other countries, which have proved to be at times difficult and costly. Poultry farming is a growing industry in Dominica. We are well on our way to becoming self-sufficient with the supply of whole chicken. As a government must continue to support these farmers and create the environment to increase production where possible. With this in mind, I am happy to announce the exemption of VAT on hatching eggs classified under customs tariff heading HS 0407.10 with effect from August 1, 2021.
The Prime Minister noted that this exemption will result in reduced costs for the farmers and increase in produce for the local markets.
This will encourage existing farmers and other interested individuals to set up hatcheries to supply chicks. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, instead of importing day-old chicks, we will be importing fertilized eggs, and they will be hatched in Dominica, which will result in reduced costs to the farmers and more competitive prices of chicken and eggs on the local market. Of course, Mr. Speaker, increased job opportunities will also be created with the operation of these hatcheries.
Another major announcement made in the 2021-2022 budget address was an exemption of income tax on residential rent income from the 2021 income year.
We are aware that many of these rental properties are owned by salaried workers and pensioners who have paid or are already paying their fair share of income tax. They have taken their after-tax income and have invested in these properties to augment their income and pensions. This government would like to further encourage these types of investments as they benefit not only the landlords, but the country by increasing construction activity, assisting with housing our people, increasing the room stock available to visitors, creating short-term and long-term employment, and as a result, contribute to the growth and development of our country. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, with effect from income year 2021, that is this year, income tax on residential rent income is exempt in the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Prime Minister Skerrit explained that the exemption is in a bid to welcome more investment in land and home ownership, which will benefit the country in the long term. Tax exemptions were also extended to students, as students or parents will now be able to claim all of the interest paid on their student loans.
In 2002, Mr. Speaker, this government introduced a measure which allows students or their parents to claim an annual income tax deduction for interest paid on student loans at a maximum of $5,000 per student. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that the cost of education has increased significantly since this measure was first introduced. To further invest in our students and foster education and training, government has decided to allow students or their parents to claim all of the interest paid on their student loans each year. So every single cent a parent or a student pays on the student loan, they can claim it, Mr. Speaker. This measure will take effect from January 2022 to coincide with the incoming, with the current income year, Mr. Speaker.
A maximum tax deduction of $8,000 on premiums paid to insure homes from the income year 2022 was also announced in the budget address. Prime Minister Skerrit noted that this deduction is in an effort to build financial resiliency among citizens.
This government has already declared that we must build a resilient Dominica. This entails building resilience at the individual level, within families and businesses. As I've mentioned on several occasions, having the necessary financial reserves in place to assist in response and recovery, for example, savings and in insurances, is critical to achieving resilience. In order to assist individuals with their resilience plans, in particular ensuring that they are insured, government proposes to allow individuals an income tax deduction for premiums paid to insure their homes and property. The maximum deduction to be allowed is $8,000. This measure will take effect from income year 2022.
Government will also offer an income tax deduction on individual or family health insurance premiums effective from the income year 2022.
A resilient nation requires a healthy people. Government has made significant advancements in healthcare facilities, equipment, services, and specialists at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. As individuals, we must invest in and prioritize our personal health. This means eating right, maintaining an exercise regime, and having adequate health insurance. Government is now offering to individuals a health insurance income tax deduction, Mr. Speaker. This deduction will be in respect of individual or family health insurance premiums paid and will take effect from income year 2022. The support for health insurance is a corollary to our efforts in quality healthcare and service delivery.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Consideration should be given to making vaccination mandatory in Dominica. That advice has come from His Excellency Charles Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as he addressed the first meeting of the second session of the 10th Parliament on Wednesday, July 28, 2021. More in this report from Shakira Pear.
In his 8th address to Parliament since assuming the office as Dominica's head of state, President Savre called on parliamentarians to encourage those who have not been vaccinated to do so as a matter of urgency. President Savre recognized the importance of vaccination in order to achieve herd immunity protection, which is critical to the return of any semblance of normalcy, not only in Dominica but in the rest of the world.
In the alternative, Mr. Speaker, consideration may have to be given to making vaccination mandatory, or at the very least, limitations may have to be placed with respect to access to certain services regarding persons who refuse to be vaccinated for no legitimate reason. This matter has already been addressed by Law Professor Rose-Marie Bell-Antoine, Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of the West Indies campus in Trinidad, when she said that, and I quote, "It's a fairly easy sell for me to accept that mandatory vaccination is constitutionally legitimate, and we have good precedents for it since we already have laws mandating vaccines for children entering school." Unquote. No decision has been taken on that score here, but Professor Antoine sees no legal or constitutional hurdles.
President Savre, who himself has been fully vaccinated, is not impressed with those who discourage others to be vaccinated.
Persons who discourage others from being vaccinated are doing a tremendous disservice to themselves, their family members, and others, and to the country by extension. Our ultimate goal should be to play our part in ending this pandemic by taking the vaccine and encouraging all those who have not done so to also get vaccinated against COVID-19. We owe this to ourselves, and particularly to the vulnerable ones in our midst who are unable to take the vaccine for valid medical reasons.
Describing the COVID-19 pandemic as the most belligerent situation confronting the world today, President Savre called on all to play their part in the fight against COVID-19.
The COVID pandemic is an insidious malaise, gnawing at all the vital components of civilized living. We must therefore cooperate to fight and eliminate the common enemy, the coronavirus, together. We must do so without being sidetracked by our political, religious, and other differences or persuasions, but by focusing on our civic responsibility and on the extraordinary challenges and difficulties that confront us as a people and a nation on a daily basis. Recent reports from the international news networks confirm that the new surge of COVID-19 cases is most common among the unvaccinated populations, including young adults. We need, therefore, to take full ownership of the vaccination rollout program and be more aggressive in our awareness and advocacy campaigns. The messaging has to be more persuasive to our young adults and elderly people alike.
The government of Dominica has received high commendation for its handling and management of the pandemic thus far. Even with the recent cluster situation, Dominica remains one of the best countries globally in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Shakira Pear for the Government Information Service.
Thanks, Shakira, for that report. The Parliament of Dominica has approved the estimates of expenditure for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022. The near $1 billion package was approved as the first meeting of the second session of the 10th Parliament came to a close on Tuesday, August 3, 2021. Octavia Prosper has more in this report.
Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, presented his 18th budget address on Wednesday, July 28, 2021. The budget, in the amount of $993,645,290, was titled Building on the Past, Solidifying Our Present, Securing Our Future, and further cements government's quest in building a dynamic Dominica. Tangible steps towards the construction of the international airport have been provisioned for in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Over $75 million have been appropriated for the project, which is the most impactful public sector investment project to be undertaken in the history of Dominica. A number of major steps have already been taken towards the construction of the international airport.
Government has acquired all of the lands required for the airport, and impacted residents are being relocated. The lab for materials testing for the airport is now 70% complete. Mr. Speaker, 30 homes are currently under construction at the Joe Burton for those who opted for homes instead of cash payments. These homes will be built to our established, resilient standards.
Over 100 people are currently employed at the Joe Burton Housing Development, with homes expected to be completed by September of this year.
This new housing development has a total of 140 residential lots situated on 34 acres, which provides a great opportunity for other potential homeowners to own a piece of Wesley. The additional lots will soon be available for sale as part of our strategy for community expansion.
The international airport will facilitate the physical and economic transformation of Dominica in a manner never seen before. Every sector of Dominica's economy stands to benefit from the project before, during, and after construction. The international airport will be a state-of-the-art facility.
Dominica's international airport will be one of the most attractive airports in the region. There will be 4 jet bridges, state-of-the-art baggage sorting and scanning systems, faster immigration processing, and the use of technology to ensure passengers receive a world-class experience. This will include self-check-in kiosks, VIP and airport executive lounges to facilitate an increase in the number of business visitors and tourists to our country.
Dominicans are being called upon to embrace, support, and defend the project as problems of access to and from the country will be rectified when the airport is completed.
Every Dominican will be proud of this international airport, including, Mr. Speaker, those who do not support the government. Yes. It will help secure all of the investments that we have made and we are making in tourism, in agriculture, and in improving the environment for doing business in Dominica. And I want to say to the citizens of this country, Mr. Speaker, that this international airport is being built solely with funds from the Citizenship by Investment Program, and therefore will place absolutely no tax or debt burden on the people of Dominica or generations yet born.
The people of Wesley, Hoodfordale, and Palm Tree have been thanked for the cooperation and contribution to this important project in our national development. The over $1 billion project is expected to be completed over the next 5 years. Octavia Prosper for the Government Information Service.
Thanks again, Octavia, for that report. And now your weather update. A trough system is expected to affect the Lesser Antilles during the next 24 hours. Scattered showers with isolated thunderstorms are expected across parts of the island chain during this period. Slight dust haze is expected across the area during the next few days. People with respiratory sensitivities should take the necessary precautions to avoid complications. Slight to moderate seas are anticipated during the next 24 hours with waves peaking to 5 feet. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Aaliyah Martin. Thanks for watching.